the Garden State Parkway. Yeah! Alright, we are talking Garden State Parkway today. It is all Jersey all the time in honor of the Chiefs coming to the Meadowlands this weekend, hopefully for a win. Zach Wilson, I sure hope it's a win. We are taking a look at the Garden State Parkway, which costs you about $11 if you're paying Easy Pass or $12 if you are paying cash for the whole route. Garden State Parkway is the longest road in New Jersey. It goes from Cape May at the southern tip up to the New York state border where it meets with the Thruway just on the other side of the border. It is the first road to have mileage-based exits, so good on you there, Jersey. You're watching Control City Freak. This is the YouTube channel where we talk about interstate highways and the places that they're designed to go to. If you dig this kind of content, why not give us a like? And if you really like it, why not subscribe? Yeah, subscribe. And not just interstate highways, other highways too. And right now is when I should mention that you can request your exit or intersection for a $5 super sticker. We've got 52 Westbound coming up next week. We're doing some old alignments and in honor of the Chiefs playing in Minneapolis, so we'll have a little bit of Minneapolis stuff. And the week after that, the Kansas City Chiefs are at home, so we will be doing I-435. Let's talk about Northbound Garden State Parkway. I decided to start on the ferry coming from Delaware, so here we start right on the way from Delaware. We get a Welcome to New Jersey sign, and then we get this follow this sign to get to the Garden State Parkway. Pretty soon in New Jersey here we get North US 9, which we are next to for much of the trip or concurrent with, and to North Garden State Parkway, go right. And now we're getting South Jersey 109 for Cape May and North Garden State Parkway, veer left. And here we have one more chance to U-turn onto 109 to get to Cape May, and northbound we are heading for the Garden State Parkway. At random interchanges, for the most part, we don't get any kind of Control City whatsoever. We just get Parkway entrance, and Parkway entrance north in this case. So not awesome for sure. Should have some Control Cities there. We're coming to our first toll, so I'll show you what that looks like. And here is our first toll booth. Looks pretty much the same as they do on the Jersey Turnpike. And we're meeting our first somewhat major city here, Ocean City. Here we cross over Egg Harbor, so we're still quite far south in New Jersey here. And now we're meeting US 40, the great US 40. We will definitely be doing an episode on US 40 at some point. We're meeting the AC Expressway, the Atlantic City Expressway, another toll road, so it is signed east for Atlantic City. As we see here, the AC Expressway is signed west for Camden, because God forbid you sign Philadelphia. We are now signed north for Toms River for some reason, instead of New York. So, bad all around. However, on the AC Expressway, the Garden State Parkway is signed north for New York, so you get New York signage there, just not on the GSP itself. And here's our first exit request. This was requested by Boss King Inc., and he wanted to see exit 82 and 82A because it is the old version. We don't have 82A and B, we have 82 and 82A for whatever reason. This is the same interchange for the same road as we see here. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. And at interchanges in these parts, we are signed for 9 and Garden State Parkway North for Woodbridge. So not New York, Woodbridge, but I think that signage is more for US 9 than it is for Garden State Parkway. Here at exit 90, we are getting an exit for Brick. A buddy of mine is from Brick, so shout out Mark. And exit 91 was requested by Vdub Productions. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. And he wanted to see it signed for Brick. I guess it must be signed for Brick in the southbound section, but northbound it is signed for Herbertsville. But same exit here, exit 91. And I did show an exit for Brick, so we get all the stuff in. We meet I-195, and it is signed for Trenton, because of course it is, but I do suppose it makes sense if you were going to Philly, you would have taken the AC Expressway earlier. And we are approaching exits 100A, B, and C. 100B was requested by Bruce Telfeyan. Really appreciate it, Bruce. You've been a long-time viewer, so thank you so much. Really appreciate the request. And this is for Asbury Park, home of Bruce Springsteen's first record, at least. Greetings from Asbury Park. And a little bit north of here, the Parkway is going to divide. It's going to be a local express kind of situation, just like the Jersey Turnpike is. So local all exits, Express Woodbridge will be the next exit. It is divided for 22 miles. We get a rare pull-through sign. We are on Garden State Parkway North Woodbridge here at this sign as we meet Highways 36 and 18. Here's exit 109 for Red Bank. I know Red Bank is sort of the Kevin Smith place, the home of the View Askew-niverse, so wanted to show that here. And here we got Middletown, which is also another View Askew Universe place.
What, you're saying you're from the burbs?
Middletown, New Jersey.
And PNC Bank Arts Center. I had no idea PNC Bank existed outside of Western Pennsylvania because of the ballpark over there. So I guess it exists in New Jersey too. Way to go, PNC Bank. You've spent millions and millions of dollars so that I know that you exist in 2 places and will probably never become a customer. Unless you want to be a sponsor. Next up, we've got Exit 117, and this is requested by ReallyBadDriving, so thank you so much for that. And he wanted to see this exit because it is the exit for the quick stop in the movie Clerks, and Clerks 2 and Clerks 3. Appreciate that. Big fan of those movies. Well, now stuff is really starting to happen. We're getting North Garden State Parkway 2, 95, and New Jersey Turnpike, and North 9, once again, to 287 for Woodbridge and Staten Island. And in the local lanes, this is pretty wild because the Woodbridge and Staten Island exit is 3 lanes, and the through lane is only 1 lane. This exit is just insane. To take a look at this exit from the overhead from the map here, I don't know, it looks like whoever drew this thing up was hammered out of their minds. I mean, these are the weirdest lines I've ever seen on any exit, I think. And here we've got exit 129 for I-95 itself. Signed for New York City and Trenton. I suppose Trenton isn't too bad here because you would have taken a different route to Philly at this point, but you would have taken a different route to Trenton at this point too. Nah, Trenton is still bad. They should never have Trenton on I-95, ever. Here's the exit for Metro Park. This is kind of an interesting spot. This is just a big giant parking lot on the Amtrak line, from what I can tell. I've been on the train and I've stopped at it before, and it just seems like it's a huge parking lot, I suppose, to take the train into New York City. And now we've got exit 135 for Clark and Westfield, and this is requested by Saxshoe. I do appreciate the request, thank you so much. And now we're meeting I-78, which is signed for Newark, because we are just a little bit inland from Newark at this point. You wouldn't want to sign New York City, of course. And West Springfield. What is Springfield? I've never heard of Springfield, New Jersey. That's horrible. Oh my god. And not too far after, we're meeting 280, signed for Newark and the Oranges. And now we're meeting New Jersey Highway 3, signed for Secaucus, and this is where you'd be getting off if you were going to the game, because this goes right past the Meadowlands. Although if you were coming from further south, you probably would have gotten off at 95. And we've got exits for US 46, which is not a long US highway. It's pretty much entirely in New Jersey, if not entirely in New Jersey. And it's a freeway throughout its existence as well. After this exit, we make a big swing to the east, so we are getting a westbound 19-2 West 80 because we don't have an interchange for West 80 since we are swinging to the east here. And here's US 46 again. This is requested by Californiacastle, and he wanted to see 46 East Garfield, exit 157, so I really appreciate it. Big tip on this one, so thank you so much. And here we meet I-80, or specifically eastbound I-80, signed for the George Washington Bridge because there isn't much I-80 left, and also for Saddlebrook, which I think is a separate exit off of here. And our next exit request comes from Ahil Shaparwala. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, I do apologize. And he wanted to see exit 165B for Ridgewood. So here's our sign of it approaching, 165A and B for Ridgewood and Oradell. And here's an actual close-up of exit 165B Ridgewood. So thank you so much for that request. And not so long after that, we get to the end of the Garden State Parkway. We're getting a thank you for traveling on the Garden State Parkway sign. And we cross into New York, so now we get a Governor Thomas E. Dewey Thruway sign. And then we get a Welcome to New York sign after we are welcomed to the Thruway. And pretty soon into New York, Garden State Parkway will end. We have our choices of 87-287 for New York City and 87-287 for Albany. The 87 signs are super sun-bleached out. I'd had to go back to 2011 or so to actually be able to see them, but by then the picture quality was much worse, so I just went with this. Alright, let's talk a little bit about Southbound Garden State Parkway. So here is our exit from the New York Thruway, exit 14A, and it is signed just for Garden State Parkway, New Jersey. Going both directions on the Thruway, it is the same signage. And just a little bit down, we get a Welcome to New Jersey sign, as well as a Welcome to Garden State Parkway. Here's a sign showing that our first toll facility is coming up shortly. And so I'm skipping ahead to I-80. We have an I-80 interchange, so we have I-80 East, George Washington Bridge, I-80 West, Patterson, and with Saddlebrook being a separate exit. So we do have Saddlebrook going both ways. Jump back down to I-78, and it's the same thing, Newark and Springfield. Can't say I agree with that at all. And we've got MetFan425 wants to see exit 135 for Clark and Westfield, and he specifically wanted to see the southbound version as the northbound version had already been requested. So this is a popular exit, and I thank you so much. Here comes that super confusing 95 and 287 interchange again. Amazingly, we get 95 signed for Philadelphia. Don't see that too often. And 287 for Woodbridge and Perth Amboy. No Staten Island signage this way. We are signed for Shore Points, which is certainly accurate. I didn't see too many of these, but maybe I missed them, but we have a overhead laundry list of exits kind of thing going here, so we see the next 3 exits coming up, and also the fact that the toll will be coming up soon. Another toll. There's many toll booths on this road. We are splitting into local and express, so express is going all the way to Asbury Park. Local will have all exits. Heading down to exit 105, we get another pull through, and this we are signed again for southbound for Toms River. I don't agree with that. At this point, it should be southbound Atlantic City. At this interchange, we are signed south for Atlantic City, but that's probably more because of US 9 than it is because of the Garden State Parkway. And we get a nice overhead sign, Long Beach Island 23 and Atlantic City 50 miles away. We're meeting the Atlantic City Expressway once again, signed for Atlantic City. Now we are in South Garden State Parkway, Cape May, which works. Colonel Potter wanted to see the old southbound 10A, 10B signage. I wasn't exactly sure what he meant by the old one, as the current one has old 10A, 10B there, and it just says exit 10A or 10B or whatever. This is from 2013. When there was old signage for both 10A and 10B, and we see one is a right exit, one is a left exit. It looks like it's actually a stoplight, and now it is no longer a stoplight, it is a interchange. Now we're getting exit 0, 109 and US 9 for Cape May, and a thank you for driving on the Garden State Parkway sign, and a warning sign that the freeway ends and there will be a stoplight soon. And here is the stoplight they warned us about, along with exit 0, which is more of a turn lane than it is an exit. And so shall end the Garden State Parkway. Alright, let's talk about Todds the way it should be for the Garden State Parkway. I'm going to say northbound, it should be New York from the jump, because let's face it, most of the traffic is going to New York. And then Patterson after we meet I-95. After the New Jersey Turnpike intersection, we go with Patterson until we have the split for 80 West, and then from that point it should be signed north for Albany. Southbound, entirely different cities. I do think it should be signed south for Newark, because from that point on the New York State Thruway, it is the fastest way to Newark, so Newark would be a good southbound one until 78, and then from that point it should be signed for Shore Points and Atlantic City. Further down, I'd say just Atlantic City the way they do, and then Cape May from there, which is what they do. Alright, thank you so much for watching this episode of Control City Freak. I really appreciate it, and we will be back next week with westbound 52, and we will do 435 in Kansas City the week after that. So excited for both of those. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Todd. Until next time, keep on trucking.